Hey, so this is the beginning of a daily series where I'm going to brainstorm out loud, show you guys the business strategy that I'm using to scale my combined agency and info product and coaching business to $200,000 a month. I basically want this to be like a live, I don't know, real-time business development session where I just show you guys everything that I'm doing, everything that's running through my head. And if you think about it from my perspective, like I've come to realize that my market, aka the people that are currently watching my content, the vast majority of them are, certainly kind of automation people. So the people that want to like get started with an automation business for themselves. Let me zoom in here. But there's also just a lot of like entrepreneurial people. And so these are people that, they may be interested in automation, but not necessarily interested in automation. And, to a large extent, they're being served by a lot of the automation content I put out. But what I'm finding is, these are two different audiences. And so there's only so much that I can niche down in one or the other before, if I start just doing a ton of N8N content or whatever. Some of the people in the entrepreneurial camps will just get kind of bored, maybe not as interested. I'm also finding, in addition to my audiences, so if I just break this down into audience type, I'm kind of running into a problem. And the main problem that I've identified, maybe problems, is that content is starting to take too long. So when I say content's taking too long, I mean like the really sexy, beautiful, polished stuff that I'm doing where I like, chug it into Premiere Pro and I spend like an extra hour editing and then I care a lot about the thumbnails and you figure out your hooks and all that stuff. So when I started my channel and I was at, 100 followers, 200 followers or whatever, I never thought about any of that stuff. The only thing that I was interested in was turning on the camera, just like I just did, and then thinking through things out loud, and then maybe sharing some major accomplishment that I've had with my life and talking about how you could do it as well. And I typically did all this stuff completely off the cuff. I never, I never scripted anything. I never prepared anything. And as a result, I think I was able to do two things. One, I was able to significantly improve my ability to just to talk on camera about things that people find interesting, which is an awesome skill considering where the world's going. We're all just stuck in our mom's basements and our pajamas with cameras in front of us. But two, it was very simple and easy for me to produce a large amount of content in a short period of time. Like the way that my YouTube trend began when I started posting was I posted every day for 30 or 31 days or something. And then every video was like 20 to 50 minutes. So think about just the sheer volume of minutes of me out there on the internet in the first month talking through things. It was crazy. It was like, 50x what the average other person that wanted to try growing their YouTube was posting at the time. So nowadays, just because my audience is getting bigger and I'm trying to satisfy the needs of the audience, but I'm also being pragmatic with, like typically when you're bigger, you have higher quality content and I'm trying to really like explore how to optimize the videos that I do produce. My content's just taken way too long. And so like the total number of minutes per day that I'm capable of producing in terms of output is way lower. And I don't really want to compromise on that quality, for one. And two, I think people have just gotten kind of like, they've gotten kind of used to like the higher brow stuff, and I don't really want to disappoint this big audience that I've created, which is nice. But anyway, that's one problem. And the second problem is, I'm, what's the term? I'm not serving my audience. I'm just gonna start handwriting as well as I could, because if I show the automation guys' entrepreneurial content, then only a subset of those will really be interested. If I show the entrepreneurial guys' automation content, then only a subset of those will be interested. And since I've identified these two, I might as well get to them. And a third problem that I'm having is, a lot of research, or a lot of like the main people on YouTube, the people that are growing the fastest, they talk all about how you shouldn't actually be posting every day. For some optimization reasons. I don't know, the YouTube algorithm, at least as of the time of this recording, supposedly, is penalizing people that post every day because it's deprioritizing your placement in the YouTube SERP, basically browse features. If you post a video today and then post another video tomorrow, the first one's going to be sort of dethroned by the second one. And so what I've started having to do is I've started having to produce content once every 2 days. But the thing is, everything in my life that I've ever succeeded at, I've just done every day for a very long period of time. So, my third problem is right now, my content production isn't daily, and I want it to be daily. So that's basically, we just take both of these things. That's basically what's the reason why I'm doing, daily brainstorm plus strategy sessions every morning. And in addition to that, I also want to do some Q&A, because I'm also, another problem here, maybe that I could write, is that I have a ton of questions that I'm not getting to. Q's unanswered, basically. And these questions are across my YouTube. They're across my communities. I'm now growing an Instagram profile, which just hit 5K, Twitter and all that stuff. So basically my solution to this problem is I'm just going to record a video every morning, as close to the morning as I can. I mean, today's a little bit late because I just had an MRI for my shoulder. But I'll try and record a video every single morning. I am going to record a video every morning. There is no try, Luke. And then in there, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about the various problems that I'm having with my revenue, maybe like some fires that I've been putting out, and just to give you guys a glimpse into the day-to-day of a business owner. And then, I have sort of an uncommon accomplishment, right? Because I'm making more money than 99 point whatever % of the world. So when I was first starting out in my career, the most interesting thing to me was to look at people that were doing these uncommon things and just like hear them think, hear how they approach problem solving. So I think my content's just going to be inherently fascinating to most people because of that. So this is going to kind of like kill all of these birds with one stone. And then the fourth was I'm just going to produce way more content, right? Like, a lot of people like me and they like listening to me talk and yap on for whatever freaking reason. So if I can find a lever to pull where I just produce more content as a consequence of living my life, I'm going to do this brainstorming and strategy and question answering shit anyway. I might as well produce some content for it. Then, it's like a win-win-win. Okay. So that's what this channel is about, just to give you guys some context. Let's actually talk about, let me actually do what I'm planning on doing today. Let's go, Stussy, I don't know what that is. Let's go to my YouTube and let's just, let me find a question to answer. This is the 5 podcasts, a podcast that I'm starting to do with Matthew Larson. And this is all going to be posted under Nick Saraev Daily Updates. But this is my main channel over here, right? If I go to community, let's see what we got here. I'm just going to pick the very first question today, but in the future, I'll try and pick questions that I've seen a lot of people ask. But okay, great. We have a question here. Hey, Nick, I was head over heels when I saw this video. I've been trying for weeks to build a LinkedIn ideation system. Thank you for this insight. I'd love to know why you use more of ChatGPT and not employ the use of other LLMs like Claude AI. For me, I think it's much better in terms of content generation than ChatGPT. So this is a good question. This is basically, if we can just peel it all back. Let's do my answers in blue. This is basically like ChatGPT versus Claude. Okay. So to answer your question, I think your name is Faith. Yes. To answer your question, Faith, at this point in time, the technologies are basically the same, or extraordinarily similar. They differ on very minor benchmarks that, to be honest, you're never really going to run into. Because after a certain point in time, both of these models' training sets basically just became the whole internet. As models got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? And not just bigger, but better, I should say, because models aren't actually necessarily getting bigger anymore. They're just getting more efficient. But initially, as models got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, this is GPT, I don't know. This is GPT-1. This is GPT-2. This is GPT-3 or something. I don't actually know if GPT-4 is bigger than GPT-3, so maybe, take that with a grain of salt. The proportion of the internet that they had to scrape in order to get their models more intelligent. I just realized we're kind of off at an angle here. But the proportion of the internet that they needed to scrape in order to get more and more intelligent increased, right? Because it increased, basically the information that went into these models just tended to converge. So, after Claude got sufficiently advanced and they started scraping more and more and more data, and there's only a certain number of ways to build transformers. That's the architecture behind models. The quality of their outputs is starting to converge and starting to be very, very similar. There are a bunch of strategies that make this better. Stuff like, O1, to O3. I don't know where O2 is, but O1 to O3, right? Where they use some sort of additional training on the chain of thought as opposed to necessarily just the final answer. But, the reality is, if I'm being honest with you, there's very minor stylistic differences between these two, and that's about it. So for me, I just go with the most widely accepted and most widely trusted model out there, which, as of the time of this recording, is ChatGPT. Like, everybody knows OpenAI, everybody uses OpenAI. OpenAI has, most people consider to be the best engineers in the world. They've also had more and more time to build this product, I would say, than Claude has. So I just go with them because I have a stronger feeling they're going to be around in a few years, and I just want to maximize the maintainability of my service. These minor fluctuations in like the prompt style between ChatGPT and Claude, right? Like the minor changes in the output, you can just rectify that by changing your prompts a little bit. So like for me, basically, like if I just redo this graph and I just call this like quality on stuff I care about. If this is Chat GPT and this is Claude, it's basically the exact same. Or, in this case, this is like a little bit bigger. Or it's like, it's so close that it doesn't really make sense for me to spend all that time and energy like redoing and rebuilding and slapping in a new like architecture or endpoint or something like that to kind of switch between the two. So that's, the declaration I've made. I talk about this in my community. I really don't think that there's any difference in these large language models now. They're basically galaxy-sized brains at this point, all of them. And it's just about how you communicate with them, how you draw the value out of them. One or the other might be more user-friendly just out of the box. But if you prompt right, then it doesn't really matter. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I don't really know what I'm going to do here. I think maybe an efficient way for me to do this would be like to respond to somebody and say, hey, just answered your question in my daily update. Check it out or something. But I don't want to just spam links. So I'll deal with that afterwards. But for now, hopefully that helps, Faith. So, I'm not normally going to do this part here, me justifying why this video exists, right? But I will be doing this part, and I don't know, I might do it at the beginning of every video, I might not. But let's move over to number 3, which is like a business problem that I'm trying to solve today, just to show you guys, kind of how it's working. And the business problem I'm trying to solve today ultimately just boils down to money, obviously. I'm making somewhere around 140,000 ish per month, and 14,000 of this, not 14,000, 12,000 of this. 12,500 of this is expense, which leaves me with about 128K profit. So here's the thing. This is great, but I don't just want to make 128K a month. I would like to make 166K a month. $2 million a year profit. $2 million a year? Well, if you just divide this by the number of months in the year, this is $166,667 per month, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say, and the reason I'm writing so many dollar signs here, is I am looking to get from 120K a month, 128K a month to 166. Well, let's just go 167K a month to make my life easier. So that represents a distance, if we just subtract them all out, 39. So I need to make 39K a month, basically, right? So how do I go ahead and make $39,000 a month? So I'm just walking you guys. This is what I'd be thinking of, regardless of this video, because I was planning on doing this today. Just kind of having myself a think and thinking, okay, how do I improve my revenue? Because I think I'm starting to plateau here with the communities and the agency and stuff like that. So right off the top of my head, the straightest line path, typically, for most companies that I work with as a business consultant, to improving their revenue tends to be improving their monetization of a pre-existing asset or resource. So, I'll give you an example. A lot of the businesses that I work with, when they come to me and say, we're not happy with our revenue, we want to grow our revenue, and I say, okay, let's think about how to grow our revenue. The first thing I'll do is I'll tabulate their assets. What is an example of an asset? Your client list is an asset. Okay, because it's something that you can turn into revenue. Your pre-existing products are assets. If you have any monthly subscription products, these are assets. If you have any big whales, on your Rolodex, these are assets. If you have future plans or information products or patents or whatever, these are all assets that you can meaningfully turn into revenue if you apply something to it, some transformation. So, like, if you think about it, when I had this thought, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to tabulate my assets. my assets. That's me. I'm going to tabulate my assets. And then from there, I'm going to see what the straightest line path is to improving my revenue, whether it's tabulating my current assets, creating new assets is typically the next one. But let's start with tabulating my assets. Okay. Sorry, I'm sick as hell. So what are my current assets? Like what are my current revenue producing assets? So my agency made almost on the dot 25K last month. So I'm just going to say 25K a month with about a 75% margin. The agency margins have gone down because I've been experimenting with having other people fulfill my stuff just because I don't really want to focus on it. So this has gone down a lot. I peaked at 72K a month with this agency, and now it's at 25K a month. This is, 47K less. The reason why is because over the course of the last few months, I've just been disproportionately investing in my info products because they just make me way more money. And instead of the 75% margins, they're like 90 whatever percent margins. So, most of this is hands off. I do have some time that I need to invest. But if I think about it this way, if we just make this relative, as a relative function of how much money I want to make, how much would I have to grow this in order to make that much? What's 39 plus 75? All right. That's 64, right? It's a 64. So if I want to make 64K with this, what would I have to do proportionally to my 25K? Let's do the math. 64 times divided by 25. 64 divided by 25 is 2.5. So basically, if I want to get to this revenue, I need to multiply by 2.5. Keep in mind, my margins are about 75%. So, I don't actually want to do all that math because the actual math isn't very important. What's important are just like these first order approximations that I'm making. Basically, what I have to do is I have to grow the current revenue base by 3x in order to achieve my goal through the agency. Okay, let's go make money with Make. Make money with Make made 18,000 plus 23. Rough numbers here. And if I'm using K's up here, I might as well use K's here. 18K through my Stripe and then 23K directly through school. So that's 41K, right? Okay, so 41K. If I add 41 to 39, that's 80K. So if I just do the same math and go 80K divided by 30, is that right? 89K divided by the current revenue, which is 41K. How big of a multiple is that? Okay. 80 divided by 41, 1.9. And the margins here are almost 100. So let's just say 2. So now we're comparing 2x to 3x. So obviously what's easier, like growing makemoneywithmake.com, that makes sense. And then Maker School. It might have changed. I think it has changed actually. So, no, let's go here. So 65 grand now. I mean, the other month was a little bit different, but let's just roll with 65K. Okay, here. So, if we just do the same math that I just did, 65 plus 25 is 90, right? So 90K divided by 65K. How big of a leap is 90K to 65K? 90K to 65 is 1.3. And the margins on that are so amazing, it's really like 1.4. Okay, so just in terms of which product kind of makes the most sense to scale up at this point, it's obviously Maker School, right? I mean, bird's eye perspective, obviously Maker School. I'm pretending like I'm just going to go all in on one thing. This is obviously a loose, like if you're going to model any sort of growth, then you got to be stupid to do it that way. But we have to make some assumptions. So it's literally 2 times easier, more than 2 times easier for me to grow Maker School than it is my agency, probably. If this is my goal, hitting 167K per month. So, what other assets do I have? I have some other assets, like I have affiliate rev. I think it's like 5K or something. Obviously, this is going to be really high. I'm not even going to do the math. And then I have YouTube rev. And I think that was 4K last month. Let me just check this out so I don't bust anybody's balls. That's about 4K. It's going to be more than 4K now, but whatever. So yeah, you do the math on this is these are crazy multiples. It's not even really worth it. So, doubling down on Maker School probably makes the most sense, but that's just tabulating the current assets. Let's actually think about new assets. And actually, I already have an idea that's coming up to me just while I'm thinking this, because I wrote it in my blog post a while ago. And that's, I can make something that actually increases all of these. Maybe not my agency, but it'll maybe not my YouTube rev. It'll increase all of these at once. So a new asset that I could create is I could create templates. Okay, so I'm getting into info product sales, obviously. Make money with make.com, call it whatever you want. It's an info product. Maker School, call it whatever you want. It's an info product. This is a service. That's an info product, right? This is an info product. That's an info product. I think this is an info product. That's kind of info product revenue, right? From advertising anyway. So, I might as well, like the overwhelming majority of all of my new revenue has been info product. I mean, the agency, it was a great business model, but obviously this one now is better. So I need to switch to this, or I need to like double down on this. Aside from like some revenue diversification with the agency, which, I'm always going to maintain an agency because I think it's important to diversify my revenue. I think it's important to be involved in the day-to-day of what you are preaching, right? Like you got to practice what you preach. So many people out there, this is a total sidebar, but so many people out there, they get in the agency, or they get into the coaching space after running an agency. And then they just drop all their agency stuff. And then like within 3 months or something, all of their shit is out of date. And consider it in my industry where everything moves at galactic light speed, right? Like you can't do that and still expect to succeed. So anyway, so I was thinking some templates, right? So think about this. Imagine if I made, I don't know, like a $50 template for some CRM or something, $150 template for some big system, and then like a $450 template, approximately, okay? And if we just broke these down, how many of these would I need to sell in order to hit $39K a month, okay? Let's just like do them all in isolation. I know this is technically termed an optimization problem, where it's like, 50X plus 150Y plus 450Z. Like in math, that's what they call this, where like, if you really wanted to figure out how you make 39,000, you solve it. Actually, let's just do that. I'm just going to ask ChatGPT. Graph this optimization problem. Let's not use O3 mini because I don't want it to take hours. 50x plus 150y plus 450z equals 39,000. And let's just see what it comes up with. It's going to run a little like code module here, but might as well. Can we make this bigger? I want this bigger. Goodbye. Look at the things on the left here. Is WordPress a registrar? So I'm going to use it as a Google. I realized that I haven't drank the tea that I just bought from A&W on my way back home. That is the good stuff. This sucks. This doesn't help me at all. Okay, could you just pluck like 20 samples from this to show the impact of X versus Y versus Z? Anyway, it's gonna go do that. But my thoughts are, right, like I could sell 39,000 divided by 50. I could sell 780 of these. 780 sales in order to hit this, assuming I don't sell anything else. We're doing some random sampling here. No, I don't want no negatives, you moron. Yeah, that's my bad. So 780 sales, or I could sell 260 of the mid product. Or I could sell, well, it's just going to be a third of that, right? So what's that, like 80 plus 20, 86? Here, 86 sales. So, okay, could I sell 780 of these products every month? $50 template products. Well, my YouTube audience is currently 46,621 subs, right? So I can just do some math. Let's just say 46,000. Let's just say 780 actually divided by 46,000. How many of my subs do I need to sell to on a monthly basis? That's too much. I need to sell to 1.6% of them. Assuming they only buy this product, I would need to sell to, I guess, like a third of this realistically, right? So like 0.5% or 0.16% of the 260 and 86. So that's great. So, do I think these are reasonable? Yeah, these are reasonable. I could totally say, and this is assuming that, like, they're all in a vacuum. Realistically, what's going to happen is I'm going to make this product sell into this product, which will sell into this product, right? So it's not going to be 1.6% here. It's going to be like 0.5%, then it's going to be like 0.3%, then it's going to be like 0.25% or something. You're going to add them all up, and then, I'm going to get my $39,000 that way. The benefit here is I can loop that back into Maker School, can't I? Because I could say, hey, if you're a part of Maker School, if you're a part of Maker School, that's not how you spell features. If you're in Maker School, you get a discount. Amazing. So this is going to drive more traffic to Maker School, which is amazing. And then it'll also, it'll increase like kind of consolidation. Actually, it should probably decrease my churn. Like, I mean, it should logically, right? If you think about it, since they're going to want to stay in my community to like have access to these resources, I would hope. And then, and then it'll also, like, Maker School is a great place to advertise it because a lot of the people that are here are going to need some help with that. So I'm going to be able to sell directly from Maker School and obviously make money with make.com, which is a win, right? So I think I've already figured it out, honestly. And then, like, if you think about it, what I could do then is I just double down on posting YouTube videos. And now I have monetized. I've monetized my audience a little bit better. And then all I do is I just make like a couple of call to actions every now and then. Yeah, that sounds great, man. I'll just make a couple of call to actions like once at the end of or middle point of every video or something. So like not all of my viewers have dropped off. And then we'll kind of take it from there. But anyway, so that, that's what I'm thinking right now. Is there anything else that I could do, hypothetically, just to, because, it's one thing for me to like think at the surface level and decide that this is a good idea and this is what I should do. But if I just stop for a second, pause, is there anything else that I think I could do, assuming that this is not an option for whatever reason? Like assuming that I couldn't monetize with templates. I could obviously just post more. I could obviously just, increase the number of people in Maker School, make money with make.com, which I will, and I should, but I believe it makes sense for me to focus on the templates because it's like a 30% increase in my revenue that I'm looking at here. Increase my affiliates? I guess I could increase my affiliates. I don't really think that's a good use of my time, though, to be honest. Like the proportional size that my affiliates will grow every month compared to this doesn't make sense. Increase my agency. I'm putting some moves in to grow the size of my agency. That's why my margins are so poor. Well, poor, they're 75%, but like just thinking about this logically, right? I would need to like basically triple the size of my agency. My current agency, which is, still consuming me a fair amount of my time. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Is there anything else that I might be neglecting? I could start another product like a high-ticket mastermind or something. Matt has been talking a lot about this. He's been recommending that I do. My friend Matt Larson. If you guys don't know Matt Larson is, check him out. He's like very good at monetizing. He's monetized his audience much, much better than I have. Probably 7 to 10 times better. Like per subscriber, he's earned like 7 to 10 times as much money as I have. I think that he's done that. And the trade-off is he has less goodwill and he's also a lot smaller. Whereas I've focused more on goodwill and gaining a large share of the market. And then also just, being very, very well respected, which I think is the key to success ultimately because authenticity is at a premium now. But yeah, just being pragmatic, I should probably monetize a little bit better. So what Matt tells me to do is he tells me to do this high ticket. He's like, you got to start a high ticket program. What is a high ticket program? For those of you that are unaware, high ticket program is basically it's another info product style thing where like if Maker School is $66 right now per month, Make Money with Make, which is sort of my mid-tier community, is $1,382, which, what does that come out to per month? I've already forgotten. $115 per month. $115 per month. This, like, let's just go HTC, high ticket community. This would be like, $1,500 per month or something. So that would be like the pricing of that. I mean, I don't know. It'd probably be more than that realistically, depending on what I offer. Or, it could be like $3,000 a month or something. And, maybe you like pay a full year and you get like a $2,500 a month discount. I don't know. But, if I were to do this, how many customers would I need at, let's do $3,000 a month. Could I do that? I don't know. Let's just go with the $1,500 a month right now. If I just go 39,000 divided by 1,500, what's that? 26? So let's just double check. Yeah. So could I get 26 customers? Yeah, I think so. Like I have 404 customers in Make Money with Make.com right now, right? That's like 1/16 of that. So like approximately 1/16. So it's like 6.5. So I basically need to convert like I think it was 6.25% of people from Make Money with Make.com. I have about 1,100 in Maker School right now. So I could do that, or I could convert, 2.7%. Or I could do some blend of the two, where this probably comes out to like 3.5%, and then this probably comes out to like 1% or something. And I think that that's reasonable. I think I could totally do that. What kind of time commitment would it be, though? Like I think Matt's doing 2 times calls per month at 30 minutes each, right? So that's an hour a month per client. So if I have 26 clients, if I'm just assuming I'm doing the same sort of structure, 1 hour per month per client times 26 clients is 26 hours per month for $39K. That's not accounting for some additional calls he has. He has a few more. So it's actually more than that. It's I think it's like 30 hours per month. So 39K divided by 30 hours is what? 1.3. So 1.3K per hour. It's good money, right? I don't make 1.3K per hour on everything that I do, but like if I just spent 30 hours 1 month making templates, I should be able to earn $39,000 a month every month. So unless I can quadruple or something the value here, so that makes my hourly rate like, $5K per hour or something insane, then I probably shouldn't do this. Well, it's not that I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should do this later when I've kind of fleshed out what it is that I want. Because the reality is there are a lot of people that want to pay me more money. They really like the coaching and consulting they're receiving right now for a lower amount. And, they want more access to me. So if they want more access to me, I should realistically and logically be willing to provide them that access for some premium. So like, hey, I'm happy to give you the access. You're going to have to pay for it. And then we can have calls every goddamn day if you want to. But, yeah, just off the top of my head, like that doesn't really make too much sense right now. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do, everybody that's still with me on this video, sorry, I normally use hotkeys here, but for whatever reason it broke, which is why I'm going back and forth like this. I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to double down on the templates. Let's talk about what it is that I'm going to do for those templates. Because one thing to like make templates, it's another thing to actually go about doing it. So why don't we separate it like this? Maybe I'll do blue is my question answering. Yellow is like my strategy, and then maybe green, which I know I already used up there, but maybe green will be like my actionables. Because these are all very important parts, right? Like it's one thing to just strategize. It's another thing to actually go and do something. So my actionables, I should just ask my audience what they want. So I don't know what the hell I'm going to make. I should probably wait, for the answers to come in. Let's just do 72 hours for now. I don't know how long I really should, but let's do 72 hours. I just got to pick something and move on. And then, I'm going to analyze the answers, maybe analyze in the right term, pick 3 templates. And then I'm also going to ensure the templates feed into each other. What do I mean by feed in? Well, basically, like $50 template might be like a proposal generator or something. which is great. But in order to extract the full value out of this, you're going to want it in some sort of optimized CRM. So that's what the CRM is going to be for. And then to extract the full value out of the CRM, maybe you're going to want some like optimized project PM system or something. Those are my thoughts. And these prices, I just pulled them out of my ass. This might end up being like $89. This might end up being like $132. And this might be like $411, right? Obviously, I'm not going to end them in round numbers because that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking. And then there's also like a tertiary benefit there, which is that I have these templates, which I can now help. Like maybe I could provide these as assets to my agency customers and clients as well. Man, I wrote a lot today. My agency customers and clients as well, because it would be nice to make more money with the agency. I'm just mindful of how I'm spending my time, right? If I could scale agency time without having to spend direct time in it, and if I could 75% margins is good, but is it perfect? No. Like I want like 80%. I'm very greedy. Then, yeah. So basically, the big actionable for today, well, I guess not even today because I can't do it all in one day. But the big actionable for today is I'm gonna pull my audience. Yeah, I've chosen templates as my next step for my business strategy. I'm just gonna focus on templates. So I'm gonna pull my audience. I'm gonna ask people in makemoneywithmake.com like what they're missing. Ask people in Maker School what they're missing. I'm gonna ask people on my YouTube what they're missing, and then I'm gonna like create something that solves that need. I'm not gonna just like listen to my audience, without thinking, obviously, because what people think they want and what they actually want is usually a little bit different, but I will gestate, I don't know how to say that word. I'm going to do the thing where I synthesize the information after 72 hours. I'll analyze answers. I'll pick 3 templates. That's what I'm thinking about right now. And then what else I should do? Like, if you think about it, I want this to be a daily thing. So why don't I go like create new routine where I publish daily updates, before morning end, realistically. Because I'm looking at this right now, this video that I'm recording, it's 37 minutes. I turn on the camera, I talk for 37 minutes, and I'm going to have 37 minutes of content. That is a 1-to-1 ratio. It's fantastic. Also, I was probably going to spend like 20 minutes or 30 minutes just thinking about this stuff today anyway. So how much extra time and energy did I actually have to invest today in order to produce this? An extra 9 minutes or something, mathematically. I mean, I guess it's going to take some time to figure out the best way to do thumbnails and stuff for this, but I'll figure all that stuff out when I get to it. Yeah, okay, I hope you guys appreciate the first video of hopefully a long and relatively inspiring daily series. I had a blast putting this puppy together. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I'm going to prioritize to do the Q&A from questions that I get on the daily updates channel, obviously, because I just want to incentivize growth. It's also possible nobody finds any of these videos for months, so maybe I have 300 videos out or something before I get more than like 10 subscribers. We'll see. I don't really care. I'm going to do this work anyway. So no skin off my back. And then, yeah, if you guys could do me a big solid, like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube algo stuff, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.